Hey, hey, ho, ho, we in the home stretch. Let's go. Alright. So, we're done with all that dying bullshit. I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, we still got 3 left to get out of the way, but, I mean, as far as this video is concerned, this is a very smooth video compared to the rest of the episodes where I was just, like, getting my ass completely destroyed. Man, so glad that that is, like, out of the way. Like, the worst of it is done. And if we ever have to go through the worst of anything, it's gonna be the extra levels that I do. And that shit isn't really, you know, it's not really compulsory to completing this game. It's just something I wanted to throw in. So, a Pain Olympics 4 would be like, you know, me willingly jumping back into a pit of knives or something just because I guess I wanted to feel alive or something. I don't know. Anyway, so this is Castle Machinery, and there's not really much to say about it. It's a significantly more challenging version of Heavy Machinery, a level that we got through in one life. So, you know, we needed, like, I guess 2 attempts on this because there's a crate bridge at the end of this bitch that kind of tripped me up a little bit. But I will say that this crate bridge, while it is pretty annoying, it's not as bad as the one at the end of Cortex Power, and I dare say it's not even as bad as the one at the end of Insanity Beach. Like, you know, granted if you try to do that the hard way, but, you know, it's really not that bad. It's just there's a certain way you have to approach it, and I didn't do that, in, you know, in this run here. But, you know, you'll see, like, as it's a very painless transition because the checkpoint is pretty much near that, like, near that one area. So, yeah, we're not really tripping, you know. This is, I'm glad to be editing a video and talking over a video where I don't have to, like, look at me, like, completely fuck up over and over again and get frustrated by looking at it. And, you know, if y'all like that sort of thing, I mean, kudos to you, but it's, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. Like, I don't want to, like, show the world, hey, I suck at video games, haha, come laugh at me. And it's like, I mean, yeah, that could get views, but, like, there's a point where that shit just starts becoming stale. And not only does it start becoming stale, but then it starts really ruining my own confidence. Like, I don't want to bring up fucking Nico Kato or something. I mean, goddamn. I don't think anyone wants to bring up that fat piece of shit, but basically, it's kind of like, you know, he was doing mukbang channels at the beginning when he was skinny. When he was skinny and, you know, actually quite attractive. Like someone that I would totally date. And over the years, it just got out of control. Like, he was just like, he was stuffing his fucking face and just, like, really piling on that drama bullshit. You know, I mean, the type of shit that these fucking vultures on the internet eat up. And it's like, at first I could laugh at it and be like, oh man, that's so repulsive. I'm glad I'm not like that. But then it's like, the more you watch it, the more it just becomes sad. Like this guy's ruining his life for what? Views? Anyway, enough about fat dudes. This is the crate bridge that I was talking about. And just by looking at it, you can tell which way you have to approach it. And by the way I'm doing it, you can tell why I'm doing it so wrong. So, we're going to show you how to do it the correct way. Because, you know, as you saw, the way I approached it was all wrong. I mean, I had it right in the first place, but then, I don't know, I guess I had a brain fart and I thought I could try to, like, really chance it. So, the way you're supposed to do it is that you're supposed to break these 6 boxes right here, and then do that. So where you can reach these last 4 boxes that are right there, and then make this jump. That's it. It's really just like, you know, you gotta think about it. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. So, yeah, I'm glad that this one wasn't really, like, you know, too bad. It was just that crate bridge that always trips me up. Because if that crate bridge isn't there, this is probably one of the easiest, like, endgame levels there is. Because, I mean, like, this is technically right near the end of the game, so you would expect this shit to be, like, absolutely difficult. seeing that the fucking levels before this, just kind of like, aside from, I mean, not including Jaws of Darkness, like, we got that in one go. It was the Cortex key that fucked us over, but, shit like fucking fumbling in the dark, I mean, you would think that the levels near the end would be, like, much harder than that. But surprisingly, they're not. I mean, this one right here, like I said, pretty damn easy if you know how to, approach the bridge. You should always get this in one life if you're not taking the green gem route anyway, but you're going to be missing 24 boxes if you do so. So now after this, we have to fight a boss. And we're actually going to be fighting 2 bosses in this episode. And we're going to be getting 2 colored gems. So yeah, it sounds to us like we're going to be just finishing this entire game in this episode. And seeing that it's 36 and something minutes long, you would be inclined to believe that. So this is not a hard boss really, but you kind of have to... Like, there's an element of thinking you have to do with this boss and positioning as well. Okay, first of all, you can't run up and smack him because he's gonna fucking, blow you up with his vials and shit. Also, if you don't move, he can home in on you with those red vials. And you also gotta be careful of where you're jumping on these green things that take off his health. So, what's supposed to happen here is that when you jump on those blobs, you're pretty much squirting it back in his face. But they don't visually show that in this game because, this is a PS1 game. Of course they wouldn't show that. So, when you watch this for the first time, you were thinking like, oh, the blobs are just taking off his health for some reason. And then you reach this part here, which will probably surprise the fuck out of you until you see the fact that you can jump on the blocks and then just, bonk his stupid little head. So, it's an easy boss, As long as you think and position well, it shouldn't give you any trouble, just like the rest of the bosses in this game. Now, we are going to quite possibly what is the last hardest level in this game, the lab, which you would think that this level would give me trouble, since it usually gives a lot of people trouble, but I believe I only needed 3 attempts on this. Just as many attempts as I needed on Slippery Climb and Toxic Waste, which is why this level, at the end of my list, if you ever caught that in my Fumbling in the Dark episode, you would see that I have this level along with the 2 other ones, Slippery Climb and Toxic Waste, all sharing a spot at 5 for the top 5 worst levels in this game. And that's because I only needed 3 attempts to get through these. Like 2 of them are literal hallways where you just have to time your jumps and everything. And the other one, I guess, like, I've practiced so many times where it's like, it's not really that big of a deal for me anymore. And we don't even talk about the Lost City because, I mean, please. Sunset Vista's worse than that. So we can finally, we can save our game already, since they just kind of threw that at us. And there are 2 hidden boxes over that second arrow crate. What you have to do is you have to bounce around it, and I couldn't do that. So, if these bonus round stages counted at all, this would probably be the most annoying fucking bonus stage I'd ever have to complete. And that becomes a thing in the Insane Trilogy. But thankfully, this acts as a checkpoint now, and, that doesn't count against any death against you in that game, so yeah. So we got to save our game now, and we are going to be coming up on our first death here. And it's not from being crushed by that door, since it's very possible that you can do that. But it's right here. Somehow, I mis-fucking-timed that, and I got shocked by the motherfucker, so... Yeah, this level's big culprit is timing. It is timing and positioning of your jumps. If you can make your jumps correctly, and if you can time your shit just right, then yeah, this level's not going to give you too much issues, I mean, it really is like, as far as the design of the level, it is a hallway. It's kind of like the dark levels, only it ain't dark. And instead of Aku Aku crates, you have these switch boxes that activate the doors and the floor bridges and shit. And these zappers right here, probably the most annoying thing to deal with. Because I know that shit gave me so many troubles in fucking Cortex Power, but now you have to deal with this shit. Turned up to 3. Well, whatever. So you kill that motherfucker here, and now we're at this checkpoint, which we're coming up again on another death that we're about to hit. Holy shit. It's not here. I mean, this part's easy. Just, you know, run to the sides and time your shit, you know? And don't get blown up by the TNT. Easy. No, it's, and not this part either, because we actually have the timing down here, which is good. We just kind of like, I guess we just have to wait, or, I don't know, like, the timing on this guy is really fucking wonky. Like, sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. And I feel like I got lucky with those enemies. You could also jump around them, too. I probably should have done that. This part we fucking die on. And I always fuck that part up every single time. It's because I'm trying to time the electric gates. But then I also have to worry about that dumbass fucking thing. Motherfucker. Okay, so, yeah, that fucking happened. That was annoying. I had to turn my alarm off and pause my recording right there. But, you know, we can continue on because the rest of that recording wasn't really that bad. So, you know, I kind of had to make some editing sacrifices here by making a cut. Made too many of those. So what I was saying about this part here is that I'm trying to time these gates, but I'm also trying to time that bouncing thing that I have to either jump over or kill. And I can't spin it or else it'll send me flying to whatever side I'm going, and then probably right into the gates. So that part's a real bastard. As of this part is here, where you have to, like, jump on the side just right. But then after that, you have this really easy, quote-unquote TNT platform bridge, where if you just, like, you know, let your momentum kind of, you know, carry you to the last one, it should not be an issue. So, yeah. This level was not very bad at all. And because of that, we actually get the yellow gem for this, which is great because now we are able to do the Great Gate and Lights Out, which Lights Out grants us the purple gem. So, yes. Yeah, we are cleaning up in this fucking video, I'm telling you right now. So before we do anything, we have to go to the Great Gate, because in my mind, in order to have this make sense, to make any sort of, you know, good order sense or whatever, I don't know what to say about it. Like, you know, just in order to make it seem orderly, I have to do this first, where I just need the yellow gem to get the clear gem. And then we can go to Lights Out, get the purple gem, and then we can finish Boulder Dash. And then that's all we have to do. So, you know, it's really all good. The only problem I have with this stage here is these sequences where you have to, like, bounce on the arrow crates and then, like, climb up, because we do fuck them up just a little bit. But I cut those out just like I did in Native Fortress, so, you know, you don't have to worry about watching me, you know, fuck that up repeatedly, and then having this video be much longer than it's supposed to be. So, yeah, not much to say about this level here. It's the Great Gate. This section here is the same thing that we went through when we were finishing the first island. In fact, we were just starting the game. You know, this is one of the easier levels to go through when you don't have the gem, because all you have to do is just, you know, this last section right here. So, yeah, not much to say. We get this done in one go. In fact, every level from here on out we get done in one go. So that's both a blessing and a curse, because while I don't have to worry about being stressed out watching myself play this shit, at the same time, there's not going to be much to talk about now, is there? Because when, you know, when CP is fucking up, you know, there's a whole wealth of shit that you can talk about. There's a whole wealth of shit that I can say where I'm just like, ha, look at this fucking idiot fucking things up like he always does. No. I kind of have to think of something. I kind of have to think of something to talk about. And you know what? While we're doing this, while we're watching ourselves go through this entire level, which is actually much longer now that we have the yellow gem, let's fucking talk about something like, gee, I don't know, sports? Yeah, let's talk about some fucking sports. I intend to make some videos about that shit later on, because man, it's been a really shitty year for Louisiana sports, I'll tell you right now. The New Orleans Saints are a mediocre and injury-riddled team that lost their starting quarterback in the Tampa Bay game, which I really fucking hate the Buccaneers for now. And I believe they're going to be without Alvin Kamara when they're facing the Tennessee Titans. And they lost to the Atlanta Falcons last weekend, so things aren't looking very rosy right about now. They still have a playoff spot coming up here, but, I mean, fucking, when they lose to the fucking Falcons, like, that just pisses me off. And they don't play them until the very end of the season in Atlanta, where they're probably going to be resting their starters and shit from, like, you know, either hitting their playoff spot or from being eliminated from the playoffs and just, like, playing backups and scrubs and shit. It's been a really, really shitty year for them. You know, like, they're either going to be sticking with Trevor Siemian or they're going to be sticking with Taysom Hill at the quarterback. And we all know how I feel about Taysom Hill at fucking quarterback. Oh, boy. But, you know what? I'd rather watch the Saints than watch the fucking Pelicans. Oh, God. Oh, my God. The Pelicans. Oh, God. They're not even a basketball team. They are not an NBA team. Like, I've watched them, and it's just like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, they really are that bad, are they? They don't have two... Okay, first of all, they don't have their two best players on the court, obviously. Brandon Ingram's hurt. Zion Williamson, again, is fucking hurt. Again. And is overweight. Again. It's getting to the point where I would rather trade his motherfucker to New York. Like, you know what? Get the fuck out. If you're not serious about playing this shit, get the fuck out. In order to distract myself from the anger that I'm feeling toward the Pelicans right now, yeah, as you notice that, if you look at this level here, it looks a lot harder now, because the game assumes that you beat the lab, and that you could just, like, you know, like, they'll just start throwing a whole ton of shit at you. And there was actually a box behind that little hidden area, so you have to go through there. And then you have to backtrack to the rest of it to break that arrow box, and then go through all this shit. So yeah, it's a pretty tough level when you think about it. Because with Native Fortress, you didn't have to go through all this shit. You could just bypass it through the secret area, and then boom. So, yeah. Back to the Pelicans. Fucking God, I don't want to talk about them right now. David Griffin needs to be fired. I really feel bad for Willie Green, the head coach, because he's a first-year head coach. He's a nice guy, and I really want him to succeed, but he ain't succeeding with this fucking team, I'll tell you right now. Nikhil Alexander-Walker is, he's looking like a bust. Jackson Hayes is already a fucking bust. Kyra Lewis Jr. is looking like a fucking bust. And, I mean, the other rookies that we drafted this year, Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, I have more faith in them. And they weren't really big marquee players. So, I mean, all in all, aside from Jonas Valanciunas or whatever fucking his name is, the rest of the team is garbage. And they're overpaying Josh Hart. So, yeah. So, fuck the Pelicans. Let's talk about those good old Dodgers, huh? How they got beat by the Braves, who eventually won the World Series. Not much to say about them. I mean, they were doing well, but you know, I guess they just didn't have the firepower this time around. But now we can safely say that ring that they won, which even though I was very happy that they won that ring, It was just another patented Mickey Mouse ring, just like the Lakers. Just another fucking LA Mickey Mouse ring that means absolutely goddamn nothing in the end of everything. The Montreal Canadiens suck dick at hockey. Not much to say there. Now, what I'm really disappointed about is LSU's season. Holy fuck, man. Like, what the fuck? See, they're gonna fire their coach at the end of the year. And, like, they went from, like, national champions in 2019 to, like, absolutely mediocre. To, like, a losing season. And I'm not surprised at all. Like, Coach Orgeron is shit. Like, he's not a good coach. We all knew that. Like, this is the same guy who ran Ole Miss into the ground. The same guy who ran USC into the ground. This is the same guy who ran the Saints defensive line into the fucking ground. Like, this guy is this guy's not a coach. He's a personality. Not a good one at that either. And then, of course, you know, Tulane sucks dick as usual, but that's something that Tulane always does, so I'm honestly more surprised when they start winning. So yeah, it's not a good year so far, though it looks like LSU and Tulane basketball might be our only saving graces, and we all know how the state of Louisiana loves to watch fucking basketball. They love to watch the good old black boys play, don't they? Fuck me, man. I'm gonna make individual videos about those teams. So those are just like my summarized thoughts on all the teams that I root for. I mean, that was supposed to be like a focus of this channel, was commentaries and shit, mostly sports, because I mean, I could talk about sports without stuttering. Like, I could talk all day about that shit and, you know, not miss a beat. But fucking, I don't know, like, it just... So yeah, we're gonna get back on that shit sooner or later. Right now, we are finishing Lights Out, which there's not really much different about the level except for this ending here, which now when you have the gem, the level's even shorter and much easier to go through. And we didn't even get hit by anything this time, so yeah, kudos to us. We got better at the dark levels from getting absolutely torn to shreds by fumbling in the dark. Wonderful. And this is going to net us the purple gem, which is, like I said, like the only time where you need a colored gem in order to obtain a colored gem. And that's kind of weird, but I mean, they never do this shit again, so, you know, whatever. It is what it is. In fact, you don't even see the purple gem in Crash 4 after that. It's either they forgot about it, or they just decided, you know, 4 gems are enough after, you know, making you get 456 of them. So now we're going to do Boulder Dash, which we do get in one life, you know. And I'm actually more proud of the fact that I got through this one in one life, because I remember that Sunset Vista episode where we started that episode doing this level, just getting through it normally. And we died around right here. And it was just like, okay, it's going to be one of those fucking games, isn't it? It's going to be one of those fucking videos where I'm just like fucking up left and right and showing off my rust. Because, I mean, I'd come back from a long day of work and just, like, I wasn't feeling it. I was not feeling it, Mr. Krabs. I'm gonna tell you right now. But here, though, I will say I was feeling it. I was feeling all of it. Like, I wanted to finish this fucking game on a strong note, and strong note I did. I used the D-pad for this one this time. And despite us running into that thing right there, you just gotta spin a couple times and you'll be right back to where you were as far as distance is concerned with the boulder. The boulder is as fast as you, so, you know, you just gotta spin that shit and don't jump too often. Like, jump when you're supposed to, because jumping slows you down, and so do these obstacles, so yeah, be careful. Also, running into the level kind of slows you down too, which I almost do, but, you know, I saved myself, which is great. So yeah, not really much to say about this part of the level here. It's the end part, you know, the purple gem route that I want to talk about, because goddamn, that is my favorite fucking part of this level, which is why I actually like this level a lot. So we're about to finish it here, but we're not going to jump in that transporter. So yeah, it's another one of those tricks where it takes you to another bottomless pit that's not actually a bottomless pit. But this one isn't so obvious, you know, because you don't really see that shit. Like, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, you actually need the gem to get down here. And you wouldn't know that there was a bottomless pit unless the gem took you there. I don't know how the fuck we ran into that thing. And we're lucky that we have a mask, otherwise we would have, like, fucked up and had to start that shit all over again. It also hit the box that was up there, too. And I wasn't sure if it did or not, so I had to backtrack to make sure. But then I kind of figured it out, so I was like, okay, let's jump in the transporter, and now we get to look at these fuck sticks right over here. It's a pretty nice shot. And there it is, baby. There's a 100 percentile gem. There's our 26th gem. We have 2 keys. It'll say it in a moment. There it is. 100%, baby. Completely erect. Let's go. So what we're going to do here now is, yeah, we're going to fight the final boss. Which is, I feel like, the only respectable boss in this game, because I actually do die to him. Though, again, I feel like that's more to do with the fact that, you know, I kind of just, like, mistimed my positioning and, you know, fucked me over. You also notice the Great Hall right there, but we'll get to that later after we beat this guy. Because, spoiler alert, in order to get the true ending of this game, you actually have to defeat Cortex. Yeah, getting all the gems gets you an alternate ending. Which is kind of weird, because in the later games, getting all the gems gets you the true ending. Whereas just finishing the game normally, just like, you know, gets you the... I'm not going to say the bad ending, but it gets you the, you know, you didn't get everything ending. Where it's like, you know, you defeated the final boss, but things are still kind of fucked, so you still got shit to do. So you see the name of this whole boss right here. You just gotta dodge these blasts and shit. You gotta hit the green ones back at them. And with this one right here, you gotta collect 3 of those in order for the blast to hit him. And I feel like this 3rd hit is probably the hardest one to deal with, because you have these blue ones that kind of just like move off screen and shit. Now here's where he starts going ape shit. And we died here because we didn't see that blast right there. But it doesn't matter, because I mean, this game gives you 2 masks every time you fucking die to a boss, so I mean, here you go. So we're not going to be spending too much time on Cortex here. I just wish that they made the final boss of 2 a real final boss. Like, I wasn't even sure if that was actually a boss, more like just you know, this is a test on how well these controls for the jetpack work. A lot of people say that the jetpack is the true final boss of that game. I mean, this one right here is pretty decent. I mean, it's not hard, but I mean, it's decent. Given the fact that you kind of have to time everything and you can easily die here. And you get to just hear Cortex's old voice actor ham it up. Laugh. So this is what you're actually supposed to do. Just don't get hit by that, and then it only takes 2 of these here. You hit him, and then the last hit is the easiest hit you'll ever get. He just throws one at you, he's like, fuck it, I give up. Hooray! We did it. And now we get to fuck Tawna on top of a blimp. Let's go. Now, you would think that this is like the bad ending, because in the cartoon that was canned for obvious reasons, what's supposed to happen is that Cortex hits the ground and he presses a button that's supposed to blow that blimp up as they ride off into the sunset. So, yeah. That's the true ending. Crash and Tawna ride off into the sunset, and then Tawna breaks up with Crash Bandicoot and, you know, decides to fuck Pinstripe. And Cortex survives his fall, finds the crystals, hires Engine, and then creates Coco. And then there you go. There's the second game for you. It's still fucked up that Tawna left Crash. Like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like, obviously Twitter didn't like the fact that, or rather, excuse me, YouTube didn't like the fact that I called Tana a slut. But I mean, if she's doing shit like that, I mean, let's be real here. That's some very slutty shit, if you know what I'm saying. It's just, that's all I gotta say, though, man. These credits aren't really that long, so we could just sit here and enjoy it. But we have one more thing we have to do. One more thing we have to do, and that's do this shit here. And that's, you know, the thing. Because we're not going to end on this note. I mean, if you knew from my Crash Bandicoot 2 video, I ended on the, I ended on a fucking, Great Hall note. So we obviously have to end this game on a Great Hall note. So here we are, standing at the fucking title screen, you know, right back to where we were. So this would be the end, right? But no, it's not. I spoiled that later on. You know it's not the end right now. Because now we're here. So, what the Great Hall essentially is, it's that it's kind of a non-level. It's an ending. Where you get to take these gem platforms, all the clear gems that you earned in this game, which are absolute cunts to get, and that's all you're doing. You're just, you're jumping throughout the hall on these platforms, which are very easy to overshoot, but we don't do that here. We learned from the last one, and the last one wasn't even part of the actual game. That was a mod that I kind of, made a bit out of, because it was just too fucking awesome, so... You know, here, it's just part of the game. You jump from gem platform to gem platform to gem platform. And instead of fucking Tana on a blimp, we get to fuck Tana on a bird, baby. You don't even have to fight Cortex here. You get all the gems, and that's what you're rewarded with. Oh, you don't have to play the final boss. You can just end the game right here. Though, it's not canon. So... This is like some sort of alternate fucking reality or something. In fact, I think this might be the reality where Crash and Coco get killed, and Tana becomes a fucking... I mean, Tana's ass gets bigger, and then she, has this really cool-ass fucking haircut and becomes a badass. I don't know. So, Papu Papu owns a big and tall shop now. Ripperoo became smart and wrote a book on this shit. And, you know, we fight him in Crash 2. We never see this motherfucker again until Crash Bash, because he's a movie actor. And, Uka Uka's like, okay, we're just gonna bring you back randomly. You and Embryo. We don't see this motherfucker again until Crash Team Racing, and he's actually pretty challenging as a boss. You know. I guess that's why Tana dumped us, because this guy has money. And then Brio tending bar until he finds out that his former assistant, his former master, is doing some shit with Engine and decides to get back at him. After this motherfucker? Well, yeah, this nigga's still alive, so, yeah. We kick his ass in Crash 2 when it's turned out that he is actually a bad guy, not a good guy. So now we have some more credits that we have to go through, watching Crash Bandicoot and Tana fly a bird off into the night. And, you know, there's your alternate timeline right there. As far as I'm concerned, you know, this bitch dumps him in the actual timeline that's canon that everybody loves to, you know, say is the real timeline. I don't know, after Crash 4 came out, Crash Bandicoot's timeline is just, it's kind of a clusterfuck, really. Because you got 1, 2, and 3, where this one right here already has an alternate timeline that they don't talk about. Then you have 2 and 3, which, you know, are canon. Then after that, you count the 4th game that just came out, like, last year as part of that timeline. But technically, that's a different timeline. Seeing that, yeah, I'm not going to spoil the end of 3, because I actually plan to play that game, too. All we know is that Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex, and then Twin Sanity, and then every other game after that, like Nitro Kart, fucking, Crash the Titans, Mind Over Mutant, like, those are all alternate realities now. And, like, you gotta feel bad for Wrath of Cortex and Twin Sanity, because those are... Well, I mean, Wrath of Cortex was pretty mediocre, but Twin Sanity, despite how bad that game was and unfinished it was quite funny. So, I mean, that game had at least a little bit more charm to it. So, that's the end of the main game of Crash Bandicoot 1. We're gonna do some extra vids later on, where I do, like, you know, hard levels and shit. I might do that live or post, I don't know. Anyway, peace out, baby. I mean, because at least with that one, all you have to do is have 3 Aku Akus and just run across that bridge and break everything. And if you don't, it can be kind of a pain in the ass, but I mean... And there goes the damn dog again. There goes that motherfucking dog again. I don't think I'm going to edit this out, because you know what? Fuck it. He can be in the video. I don't give a shit. Bark your heart out, Milo! Bark it out! I think my mother's home. I don't know. This is probably the most interesting part of the fucking commentary, man. Because there's really nothing to say about this fucking level. It's literally fucking heavy machinery again. It's just slightly harder. But at the same time, I guess it's a bit shorter, too. I guess he's barking because, like, I just started talking. And he's like, oh shit, you woke me up. I gotta start barking now. God damn it! Son of a bitch! Alright, whatever. Fuck it. I'm just gonna keep it in. We're gonna keep it in. Fuck it. I know y'all love this dog so much, you might as well just be in the fucking video. Whatever.